20th meeting of the Paducah Planning and Zoning Commission to order, and I ask that all of you rise with us as we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Irvin, will you call the roll, please?
Yes, ma'am. Benberry?
Here.
Bradford?
Here.
Morrison? Schramke?
Here.
Shadle?
Here.
Wade?
Here.
Chair Casilius?
Here. Mr. Wade, you have the minutes motion.
Yes, ma'am. I move that the reading of the minutes for the July 6, 2015 meeting be waived and the minutes of said meeting be, as prepared by the Secretary, be approved as written.
Second.
Second by Shadle and Schramke. Are there any corrections, changes? Call the roll, please.
Wade?
Aye.
Benberry?
Aye.
Bradford?
Aye.
Schramke?
Aye.
Shadle?
Aye.
Chair Casilius?
Aye. Mr. Benberry, you have the zoning text amendment motion.
Sure. I move that the resolution entitled "A Resolution Constituting the Final Report of the Paducah Planning Commission on the Proposed Text Amendment of the Paducah Zoning Ordinance by amending Section 126-76 sign regulations be removed from the table."
Second.
Second by Wade. Okay. When last we met, we had some more input as far as some changes that we would like, and it was the feeling of council that we needed to go ahead and propose those changes and then give people an opportunity to make comment. Did we receive any comment, Mr. Irvin?
Back from the Planning Commission?
Or no, any comment from the public?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Has anyone else had any discussion, input? And have you had the opportunity to look over the changes that were included? Excuse me?
We need to vote on the table.
Oh, I'm sorry. We do, it's true. Go ahead and call the roll for taking it off the table.
Do we need a motion for that?
We had one.
Motion
Okay.
seconded.
Who seconded that?
I did.
And who made the motion?
Mr. Benberry.
Sorry. Oh, I see it right here. I'm sorry. Benberry?
Aye.
Bradford?
Aye.
Schramke?
Aye.
Shadle?
Aye.
Wade?
Aye.
Chair Casilius?
Aye. Now we'll have our discussion. Have you had the opportunity to look over the changes? Are you satisfied with them? Does anyone have any more changes that they would like to add? Mr. Shadle, you weren't here last time, and one of the things that we added was that we wanted the total of the wall signage and window signage not to exceed 30% of the total face of the building, and that's been added.
Mm-hmm.
I think it incorporates what we discussed.
I believe it does too. Does anyone have, we really haven't discussed at length the electronic signs. Are there any comments that you have on that portion of the changes? It's been probably 3 meetings since we discussed that. So
I will ask a question that I think I've asked before, and that is, we can pass these and we can do whatever, but is there enforcement with the electronic signs?
Periodically, as I probably said in the past, the city will send letters out to property owners reminding them of the regulations as it relates to electronic signs. Additionally, I believe the Fire Prevention Division now also sets out some guidelines when people try to get electronic sign permit. That's to the level that we've done enforcement to this point.
And what happens after that? You remind them and then?
If it continues, it would be action most likely be taken in, is it Circuit Court, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
And we have not.
It's never been taken.
Yeah, we have not taken it to that level at this point. It's been more of enforcement letters written to them asking them that they abide by the regulations.
I have a question. On these perforated signs, are the ones that have them up already, are they grandfathered in Or is this retroactive?
The ones that I was aware of have been removed.
Right.
But if they are existing and they are in compliance with the new regulations, then we would allow them to stay.
No, you said if they're in compliance or if they're not in compliance?
If they are in compliance with the new regulations, we would allow them to stay.
If they're not
They
in
aren't
compliance?
Not grandfathered.
That's correct, as they were legal to start with.
Okay.
I have a question about the electronic. It says the maximum height, if I read is 6 feet.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes, I believe it is.
It's pretty tall, isn't it?
A lot. I just see different heights.
Most of our commercial zones within the city, the maximum height of signs is 40 feet. Here in the B2 zone, as it's close to the downtown, and the design speeds of traffic is somewhat lower, that's been reduced to 6 feet. I believe that's very similar to what we have going on at the Carson Center at this time.
Now, that would be even 6 feet, like on a pole, like an electronic sign, if it was mounted on a pole, or does it have to be a monument sign?
I don't think the new regulations specify that. Typically, with a 6-foot sign, though, it's more of a monument-type sign. I can't recall any digital sign being 6 feet off the ground and it not being encased by some type of brick veneer or something like that. But that's something that could be added. I mean, if you want to continue to think about that, is our downtown area.
There are electronic signs that are higher. I mean, there's one at Dallas Medical. There's
Yeah.
they're electronic signs. They're not 6 foot from the ground.
Yes, there are many that are higher because typically they can go up to 40 feet tall.
Yes,
In
right.
this zone, no part of that sign can be taller than 6 feet,
Right.
which is shorter.
So the difference is the zone. I see.
That's right, in the downtown area. But there's no requirement that it have any type of brick foundation, brick veneer around the sign, or anything like that. At this time, the way it's written, the design of that sign is left up to the property owner, which in most places of the city, that is the case. There's only a few zones within the city that we typically get into that type of design review, and that's usually in our historic districts.
I think there is room for a little bit of misinterpretation by someone reading this. They might, and probably someone that wants a
page you
higher
want?
sign.
Yeah.
I'm looking at page 3 on section 5C2. It reads, such sign shall not exceed 6 feet in height, what we've been discussing, because I guess someone could say, well, that sounds to me like the electronic piece of the sign can be the dimensions can be 6 feet. I read that, and I think the intent of it is that it cannot be 6 feet above the ground, the top of the sign. Is that the intent?
That's an intent, yes.
That's what I thought.
So you're saying maybe that should say electronic signs shall not exceed 6 feet in height or from grade?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was 6 feet as well, as he interpreted.
Yeah.
As you look through the sign regulations, this type of terminology or this type of writing is somewhat consistent.
Yeah.
But
From grade. Right.
And if that's the case, and if we have it in our record, as we just said, that the intent of it is to be no more than 6 feet off the ground, then I don't.
well, we can add from grade real quickly, and that can be, if that's what you want.
I personally don't see a need to do that because I read it as consistent with how it's intended.
Okay.
But I was just making the comment because I could see how someone might try to.
To clarify, it might be a good idea to add
Or
it.
put a 6-foot sign in there and say, well, it's what it says
Exactly.
there. But if it's from grade, there's no question.
I agree. I think it should.
So let's just change it to from grade.
Agree. Just add that to it.
So does that mean it needs to go back to that, be advertised with the new verbiage, or we can, okay.
Yeah, if
This
they
is
wanted to-
this is a public hearing.
They had issues, they would, I mean,
We've given them plenty of opportunity, that's for sure.
As long as you say so.
there any other comments or questions you have about the changes? Are you ready for the vote?
I think I have to read the motion.
You do. You have to read the other motion.
I move that a resolution entitled, "A Resolution Constituting the Final Report of the Paducah Planning Commission on the Proposed Text Amendment of the Paducah Zoning Ordinance by amending Section 126-76 sign regulations be adopted."
Second?
Second by Bradford. Thank you. Any other questions, discussion?
And how do we memorialize the verbiage change? Do we need an amendment to that, or just,
I would say we've already talked about putting it in there.
okay.
It's only one place, right?
Yeah.
The only place.
It'll be a correction to the resolution, and I'll bring that resolution to the chair for her signature, and then that'll be forwarded on to the city commission.
Commission, so that we finalize that.
There we go.
Ready?
Yes, please.
Ben Berry,
Aye.
Bradford,
Aye.
Schramke,
Aye.
Shadle,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
Chair Casilius.
Aye. Thank you. Moving along, Mr. Bradford, you have the Larry Caldwell waiver of subdivision. Please.
I move that this commission receive and file the application of Larry Caldwell for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 1016, 1020, and 1024 Brown Street. I further move that the requested approval be given in compliance with all other applicable provisions of the Paducah subdivision ordinance be waived.
Second.
Second.
Second by Ben Berry.
This is 5 lots that are owned by Mr. Caldwell. He wishes at this time to abolish all the interior lot lines, making this one tract of land. In the future, looks to expand his building located on this property, and just kind of cleans things up and gets it ready for that process.
An interesting note, if I may, Chair. Within the last 4 or 5 years or so, now if somebody wants to submit a site development plan for new construction, we require them to abolish the interior lot lines before they actually construct the new building. This was predated that, so in a sense, he's actually bringing this drawing actually brings this development up to our current policies.
I was wondering why that
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
built on
Yeah.
to understand that.
Yeah, I think this building was constructed prior to those requirements.
Any questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Yes, ma'am. Bradford,
Aye.
Schramke,
Aye.
Shadle,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
Ben Berry,
Aye.
Chair Casilius.
Aye. We had one more item of business on our agenda tonight, but that item has been pulled. So if there is no other business to come before the commission tonight, we stand adjourned.
As the sun climbs higher in the sky, and you can sit back with your cafe au lait while outside